would like to welcome you to one of the most scenic highways in the state of Arizona, and arguably one of the most scenic highways in the entire United States. Join us today for a ride along on Arizona 89A.
Your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in.
What's up? J Street Moto here, and welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for coming here and watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. So today's gonna be a little bit different. I decided to go back to a road that we rode on, or that me and my two buddies rode on when we crossed the United States from North Carolina to the Pacific Ocean and back. Because I felt like this road, and there's going to be another episode for another specific road. But I felt like this road in and of itself deserved its own feature on the channel. Today, or on this day, we are riding Arizona 89A, and this is a road that runs between Flagstaff and Prescott, Arizona. Sedona's kind of about 2/3 of the way through it. And we are riding south. So we are going from Flagstaff to Prescott on this day. So that's the direction of travel that we're taking along this road. Now, one of the reasons that we picked including Arizona 89A into our cross-country trip was because I had read a lot about this road. It kind of had the same, I won't say mystique, but it was very similar to the things you hear when someone tells you, hey, oh, you're going to South Dakota. Make sure you ride Needles. Make sure you ride Iron Mountain. Make sure you ride Spearfish Canyon. These are all roads that motorcyclists we hold a great amount of value on them. On the East Coast, some of those things are like the tail of the dragon, the back of the dragon, the snake, the moonshiner. There are areas on the East Coast that Blue Ridge Parkway, that we hold in high regard as well for a similar reason. I found out later that Arizona 89A is actually considered one of the top 5 most scenic roads to ride in the state of Arizona. And arguably, after riding it and having ridden through a lot of the states in the U.S., I would argue it certainly makes my top 10 for any place that I would want to ride in the entire United States. So I felt like this one deserved a plug all to itself, a video all to itself, just so that you could experience it the way we experience it as riders. One thing about this road that just astounded me, number one, let's talk about how the road is laid out. That's probably the best thing to discuss. So when you come into it, it's kind of got an unassuming, at least from the northern end when you're heading south, it's got an unassuming beginning. It's just kind of slow sweeping curves, and you're starting to realize that you're leaving the desert and really getting into kind of high country forest. And then all of a sudden you're into switchbacks and tight turns, and you're riding next to ravines, and the scenery just blows your mind. It's one of those roads that every turn you go around, and there's a lot of blind turns on this road, fair warning, but every turn you go around, when you make the turn and come out on the other side of it, you're seeing something that's even more breathtaking than what you were looking at before. It's that kind of road, and it really, as motorcyclists, it really pushes buttons for us. We truly enjoy it. Now, along this section, though, or along this road, you're going to hit curvy stuff through the mountains, and then you're going to get into towns like Sedona. There was another town we went through sort of just on the other side of Sedona, and I didn't get any video of that. And one of the reasons for that is this is a town that's on the side of a mountain, so there were really steep climbs and sharp turns at very low speeds because of the construction going on in the town itself, and the people that we were behind. It resulted in it being almost impossible for me to reach up and hit record. And I apologize for that. So you're not going to see the entirety of 89A from beginning to end, from Flagstaff all the way to Prescott. What you're going to see is the majority of it. I would call it the majority of it. And so just bear that in mind. If you decide to ride this road, there are going to be sections where it's extremely technical, it's extremely tight, it's challenging as a road to ride, and then you get into sections that are long and straight and kind of dull for a few minutes, but the scenery is still gorgeous because you're looking at high desert in Arizona, and then you get back into a lot of the twisties, which is what most motorcyclists are looking for anyway. So it's a very interesting road. On this day, we ran it for 81 miles is what we did, and it did not disappoint in any way. So in any case, I hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back and enjoy it. I gotta say, as riders that primarily are from the East Coast, all three of us are, and really none of us grew up out here. David grew up in California for a few years and then he moved to the East Coast, so that really doesn't count. But I gotta say, there is nothing more breathtaking than a view like this. When you turn a corner and that's what you see. Because that's something that we don't get to experience in our natural habitat, is the way I'll word it. We're not used to this. And all I could think about this day while I was riding this section of road in Arizona, the only thing I could think about that entire day was, oh my God, this is basically every freaking turn reveals something that would be a postcard worthy picture. And it doesn't matter what season you're in. I was sitting here thinking, how cool would it be to ride through here during the winter when there's snow on the ground? Even though that's crazy for a motorcyclist, I was sitting here thinking, man, this landscaping would be just amazing with snow on it. And I know they get snow there. What's really interesting, and I thought about it as I was putting together the daily videos from our cross-country trip. So just as a point of reference, if you're new to the channel, this is the first video you're seeing here. I encourage you to go look at some of the other stuff that we've done, or that I've done, because we did take a cross-country trip that was basically 12 and a half days, over 7,000 miles in 21 states. This is part of that trip that we were all on. So, you know, if you want to, go check it out. If you feel inclined, subscribe to the channel, like the videos that I'm making, and you know, that all helps me, and click the notification bell. That way you'll know when I'm producing new content. I put stuff out I'm trying to, or I attempt to put stuff out twice a week, every Tuesday and Friday, and the content varies in terms of topic, but it is always motorcycle or vehicle, I'll put it that way, related. We do some stuff with cars, especially custom cars. But yeah, so David and I had been out to the West Coast once before. And when we took that trip, we did it kind of differently. It was my 50th birthday year, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the Pacific Ocean and back on a motorcycle. And David immediately hopped on the bandwagon and was like, you know what? I'm doing that with you. That would be fun. I'm retiring, and I can totally take the time off. And when I did that trip, or when we did that trip in 2020, right in the middle of COVID, kind of the way we did it was I stayed with random people along the way. And when I say random, I really don't mean random. There are people that I hadn't seen in years. So, you know, it was friends that I had when I was in high school. It was guys I was in the Navy with and on the submarine with. It was guys that I trained martial arts with. It was, you know, that kind, fraternity brothers. It was that kind of thing, right? And when we went to Arizona the first time, we actually stayed with a guy named Greg Whitco. He was on the boat with me, and we hadn't seen each other in 30 years. And when we pulled into his driveway at his house, because he's like, sure, you can stay here and I'll feed you, and you know, we'll hang out, and then you can leave the next day. It was like we had just seen each other yesterday. So I mean, it was a really cool experience. The whole trip was a cool experience doing it that way. But while we were at Greg's house, Greg mentioned, he's like, oh, well, because we knew in advance, one of David's aunts is in Prescott, Arizona. And we knew that on that trip, we were going to try to get to her to, you know, to see her, because David hadn't seen her in a while. And it'd be a good chance for us to just pull in, have some lunch with David's aunt, and hang out for a few hours, and then leave and go to our destination. Greg mentioned this road while we were at his house. He's like, guys, if you have the time to do it, ride from Prescott up to Sedona and on up to Flagstaff on Arizona 89A. It is well worth the trip. And at the time, we could not do it. We did not have the time in our schedule in order to facilitate our ability to be able to go ride this road. So when we came this time, we're going the opposite direction we would have been going the first time, but it was like, you know what, we kind of have to hit it. This is something that's going to put us in areas that are going to be truly enjoyable for a motorcyclist to ride in. So yeah, that's kind of how, that was the initial like the seed that was planted in my brain about this road to begin with. And then as we started planning the trip in 2022, I remembered that seed and was like, you know what, we really need to go ride that road this time. Because I had looked up, there were some videos on YouTube where guys had ridden it, and they had videos up similar to what I hope this one is. So if you're looking at taking a cross-country trip, you're from the East Coast, the West Coast, doesn't really matter. You're looking at taking a cross-country trip and you're wondering about Arizona 89A, hopefully this video gives you a little insight into that road and, you know, makes you have the desire to ride it, like all the stuff that I saw made me want to ride it. That's at the end of the day, that's why we're on this road to begin with. So I was like, I really, really, really want to ride 89A. That's just something I want to do. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this section of 89A through Arizona with me, with us riding it. You're getting ready to, well, I can't say you're getting ready to actually see it happen, but karma is about to happen. That was a state trooper that just passed us in the left-hand lane there, and the woman that is in front of Juan at this point had just cut us off. And the state trooper witnessed it. She did it right in front of him, and he's getting ready to pull her over. So I enjoy seeing that as a motorcyclist. I enjoy seeing people get there. I enjoy watching karma unfold. I'll just leave it at that. So hopefully you liked this video. If you did, like it. If you like the channel, please subscribe to the content and click the notification bell. As always, ride safe.
Motive born in drought.